Hi guys, JJ here. Welcome to episode 1 of a new series, Miracle in the Briefcase, where I interview professionals and practitioners from the financial advisory industry. Miracle in the Briefcase is about their journey, experiences, and aspirations. In today's debut episode, I have Serene Seah from one of the leading FAs in Singapore. I have known Miss Seah for over 20 years. She was my form teacher back in school at Catholic High, and today we'll be catching up on the good old days, her journey to top of the table, and what the FA business means for her. Miss Seah, welcome.
Hi, Jia Jia. Thanks for inviting me over to.
Very happy to have you here today. Thank you for doing this with me, the first episode.
No worries, happy to. Yeah.
Miss Seah, can you introduce briefly yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Serene Seah. I've been in the FA for maybe a couple of years. So actually I'm very excited to be invited to share a bit more about my journey, especially with this whole series of episodes with FAs. Yeah.
Miss Seah, yesterday I was thinking about the interview that we're going to have today. And I was trying to calculate how long have we known each other?
Wow, I think that's like 2 decades or so.
2 decades, because you were my form teacher back in Sec 2 or Sec 3, I remember.
Sec 3, yeah.
Sec 3.
Yeah.
So when I was in Sec 3, I was 35 years old. No, sorry. When I was in Sec 3, I was 15 years old.
Yes.
And this year, I'm 34 years old.
Yeah.
Going to turn 35. So, 20 years. And I've graduated from Cat High for nearly 20 years as well. Actually, after we left school, how long more do you continue at MOE?
I think a couple more years before then I went to private sector to do some more teaching. And then I think totality, I thought about 10 years before I went on to LTA to work for another 6 years before becoming a mom. Yeah. Then I left public sector altogether.
So that means you had what they call a resume gap. After you became a mom.
I took a break from work to spend more time with my family and my children.
How long was that?
About 1 over a year.
1 over a year. Do you actually remember some of the incidents, specific incidents of us in school?
There are lots.
Or particularly me.
Yes. I remember there was a time because we always taught a lot, right, in class, and then we couldn't finish the syllabus, so we had to ask you all to come back or to stay back. Yeah. And then there was this episode that you couldn't stay back because you had guitar practice.
I signed up for enrichment class.
Okay.
So it's like you pay for 10 sessions, then they will teach you go and pick up a guitar.
Yeah, so I remember that particular one, we had quite a big fight with you. Yeah, and then you were angry, then you stormed off the classroom. That was quite memorable for me. Yeah, so that was one episode I remember that we had. Then the rest were mainly very funny anecdotes in class with your class. Your class is very colourful class. Yeah.
I think we had a lot of fun back in school, you as our form teacher. Because of, I think, one part of it, I believe, is because our small age gap. We don't have a very big age gap.
Correct. The
other part would be your character as well. You have always, I get the impression, being in a boys' school, right? And for Catholic High, the school always try and treat us like young adults,
right?
Like gentlemen, young boys, adult boys, young boys,
especially in mission school, yes.
Yeah, and I think you have. I remember you as being very generous in your sharing.
Thank you.
Or even your life experiences with us, very candidly. And that's when, and also of course, another reason we have remained close is because you have very generously invited a lot of your old boys back to your home, right? For every Chinese New Year gathering. Why do you want? What made you want to do this? Having us back?
Actually, I left teaching not because of teaching in nature. I love the interaction with you guys. So the connection with the young people is something I always miss. And you guys being the first batch of my form class actually had this fond memories that I have. So being in touch with you guys brought back those memories, and to see you grow from boys to men. Yeah, it was an enjoyable journey.
And first batch?
First batch of graduating class, yes. My form class, yes.
So that means you were only first 3-4 years into teaching at MOE when you took us.
I think
as
it
a
was
form
only
class.
second year. Yeah, and I was given your class.
And Cat High is your first school that you were posted to?
Yes.
I see. Talking about gathering at your house, right? I want to share another memory from going to your house. I still remember when we were in school.
Yeah.
As usual, you are quite sharing with us, generous with your sharing. So I remember that one time you were very excited about something. Then it was something like you got something somewhere and all. So later then I realized that actually you were excited that you actually got a ballot
Okay.
successfully at the Pinnacle BTO.
Right.
And do you remember what was the ratio that time?
I can't remember.
But it must have been at least like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 3 digits.
Oh yes. I
to
think we
one
had about the top
unit, right?
300 plus to be selected, and we were given the good options to choose the units. Yeah, at that point. Yeah, I remember.
So only afterwards then I realized that, because the time when we were 14, 15, we knew nothing about BTOs, about adulting,
Right.
about buying houses. And afterwards I realized, wow, so Miss Seah, millionaire, just by that ballot, So
Yeah, apparently I was told I was sitting on a landmine. I mean, sorry, on a gold mine.
Gold mine.
No, landmine, gold mine. Yeah.
Miss Seah, so actually what brought you, we talked about earlier, your 10 years in MOE, then your 6 years in LTA,
Right.
taking a career gap, having a children, starting a family. What brought you to the FA business from there?
Actually, one of your peers met me during the time when I was taking a break to say, let's catch up. Let's talk about business venture. So I was thinking, what's this business venture? So I met him nearby. We had a drink. And he actually elaborated more about the financial service, right? This industry. And I realized that I had a very bad or wrong impression of this whole industry. I used to think that getting an insurance is something like getting something, put it in a cupboard, and hopefully pray that you don't have to use it. So when he explained to me the whole concept of how financial advisory is and the importance of it, then kind of like widened my views on it. So instead of like joining him, actually, I went to Google how to become a insurance person. So I Googled and I took on the exams myself, and then eventually passed the papers, and then asked around, okay, now that I'm ready, who wants to take me on? Yeah.
So the most obvious question is, then why didn't you join him, right?
I think it's a different, maybe it's because as a student, then I wasn't, ready for the culture. And I think maybe different kind of focus at that point. Yeah. Not that I don't want to join a student just because of the age gap or the seniority.
Yeah.
I think generally it's the culture and the comfort level. Yeah. I mean, the amazing thing was that he at least changed my whole perspective of this industry. And that I think is something to be applauded lah.
Do you remember what was it he told you that made you feel like, maybe I can explore this, I can give it a try? Or what is it he shared with you that you really feel like?
To be honest, I can't remember the content of it. Okay, my memory is like pretty bad. But I think that I used to be very close-minded to this industry. I think it's a taboo topic, and I think something that I don't want. I think it's kind of like a scam, right?
Stigma?
Stigma, definitely. And to be honest, even when I first told my family that I was going to be a financial person, an insurance person, there wasn't much support. Like, my husband was fine, but my mom was actually telling people that I don't know what my daughter is doing. She's selling nonsense. Nonsense, yeah. But now, after my mom has seen the effects of financial planning and getting the right plans for herself, she's actually my main center of influence. So she's introduced many friends, family to me, and she's a strong believer of it as well. Yeah. So I think even for her, at this age of like 70 plus, she has seen a shift in understanding of this industry. Yeah. So it's actually, there are a lot of people out there who have the misguided impression of our line and the people who are doing it. Yeah.
Of course, you mentioned about, taking on exams and finding someone to... So somehow, during that time, I also got to know, because I joined way earlier than you.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
I joined way earlier than you, and I got to find out that you are... I found out that you are, in the business.
Right.
And of course, because of our yearly catch-up, then we met up a few times.
Right.
And I knew that I think you were very honest in sharing that you were actually struggling as well.
Yes.
During
So I'm very thankful for the fact that you actually approached and reached out to me to want to at least guide me through the very challenging stage, when the initial stage where I'm totally lost. So I'm very grateful. There are people, they are not my team, but who are in the industry, who has actually kindly reached out to me, and very, very grateful for that. Because if not for those moments where I may have left the industry altogether. Yeah, so thank you.
What was the challenge?
I was quite clueless. I didn't want to approach my warm markets because everybody's skeptical. They were wondering whether are you going to be a fly-by-night kind of agent. So, but then again, I don't know who else to approach and how to help people, because you're totally lost. There are so many options out there, And then there's different clients with different needs and different challenges, and you don't even know how to approach it. So really, even if how diligent you are, if you don't know how to approach and assist a client, you're basically just on your own out in the woods lah. Yeah.
How do you think your practice has evolved since that very clueless period?
I think a lot of it is self-belief, and because I was new, right? Then there's a lot of doubts. So when things happen along the way, I think my confidence grew. Then you believe more in yourself, and then believe more in the things that you do, because everybody's unique in their ways and how they deal with their clients. It's their own business anyway. So when you see certain success and you see people reaping the benefits of your advisory work, then you gain that confidence and you're more prepared to dive in deeper to help other people. Yeah.
How long did this process take you?
To be very honest, I think the first 2 years was one of my struggling moments. I felt so depressed and downcast that, my peers were earning so much more, and I was earning, to be honest, I think
peers as in the industry,
yes,
or your other friends
my
outside?
network of friends,
Okay.
like my age group people. And I was thinking to myself, how can a postgrad be doing this? That I only barely made like $500 a month. So I was feeling very down, very lousy about myself. I remembered like having to do tuition as well as this, and then wondering, what am I doing in my life? It's like you're not even driven to take on a full-time job. So I was trying to get by. I remember one incident that I was coming home from an appointment, and I was thirsty, and I didn't want to spend even $1 to buy tea, And I said, if I save that $1 every day, that's like $30, and that's like 5-6 days of Thai peng money, So it was the point that money was that scarce, and it was so difficult to earn. Yeah, and I will sit down and think through my life choices, and did I make the right choice? And why didn't I give up in the end? It was because I really believe in the nature of this thing, of this job, and I believe in myself. And everybody tells me that, why don't you just go back teaching, be a public servant, again. And I feel that I can have what it takes to be a salesperson. Yeah, and I be able to reach out to people and be able to connect people. So that was something that I truly believe in. I didn't want to give up. Yeah, and I felt that, yes, I might have struggled. I'm still struggling at that point. But this is not my all. So I will not give up a fight until I realize that I've given my all. Yeah.
What do you think it takes to be a salesperson?
I think you need to know why you're doing this, the products and the services you do, right? Is it what you truly believe in? Is it beneficial to people? Only when you believe in it, you see the value of it, then can you contribute out to others. And then, this industry is very saturated. There's so many agents out there. So what makes you different from other people is because, again, right, people don't care what you know. They need to know what you care, right? So when you show that you're caring, you believe you're on their side, that you're working for them, people will open up their hearts to you. Yeah.
I always say that it's easier to join the business at a younger age.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I joined when I was 22.
Right, yes.
So it was a period, but I was fresh out of NS.
Yeah.
There was very little commitments. You, on the other hand, you were, you already had a family, a young family.
Right.
And of course, with a young family in Singapore, there's always financial responsibilities. There's always commitments.
Yep.
And making that mid-career switch and even having to worry about $1 drink. How did your husband react to that?
I'm very thankful that he was very supportive of this. There are days when he is asking me, why are you so stressed? You're not even a breadwinner, right? What's there to be stressed about? And I get very offended. It's like, just because I earn less doesn't mean that I have no right to be stressful about, right? So I told myself, you know what? If I need to earn that kind of right to be stressed, then I make sure that I earn enough for my family and to be that level of stress. So, but again, right, all this time, he never asked me to give up on my dreams. If he know that this is something I want, he will just let me do it at my pace. Never once have he said, give up and go back to teaching. No, never. Which is something that I'm very thankful for. If not for the support that he could manage and settle the families financially, I can actually pursue my dream. Yeah. I wouldn't say that I grew up one day wanting to be a financial agent. That's my dream. No.
So what's this dream that you're talking about?
I think the dream of wanting to be something more than a job. Teaching for 10 years and then being civil servant for like another 6 years, I felt that a job was just a job. But I didn't feel that there was something worth other than paying the bills.
Although you clearly enjoy teaching as well, right?
I do.
What's
But-
the missing thing that...
Okay, to be very honest, I'm always marking. So there was no work-life balance.
Okay.
So the interaction was the one that kept me going, because seeing you guys changing and the joy of the interaction was something that kept me going. But the marking, the admin stuff, right, something was killing me all the time. Yeah, it was so bad that I think there's come to a point whereby I drove home and I'm wondering, I kind of wish that I got into an accident. So there's legitimate reason to actually rest. And that was like a sign that I have to leave.
I remember the time the school was going through management changes as well.
Right,
And I
right.
think there were a lot of, even from the student perspective, it was a huge culture change
Yeah.
in terms of how the principal from the top down wanted things to be done,
Mhm.
his vision and all. So I
Right.
can imagine, I think that was a period, very stressful period for you guys as
Yeah,
well.
I think the stress was all right, still manageable because the colleagues and were very supportive. The students actually very. I mean, y'all are naughty, but you're cute lah. In that sense, you know. I remember one episode. In fact, on Teachers' Day, I don't know if you remembered. The whole class decided to give me a Teachers' Day gift, and I found it in my locker. And it was actually a fluorescent pink G-string. Yeah.
G-string. I think I remember
Yes.
something about the G-string.
Yeah. So I found it in my locker. Yeah, the kind of things that you guys do lah. Yeah. Every day was a very different and very interesting day with you guys lah. It was never one boring day.
Do you still have it or throw away
No,
already?
of course not. No.
See, I know in the FA industry, I've been in the FA industry for 12 years. I just quit earlier this
Right.
year.
Yeah.
And I've always been very... I know that most of the people, right, 90% of the people in the FA will always struggle initially.
Yep.
And this struggle is because there is a learning curve that comes with joining the business,
Right.
or it comes with doing anything new.
I think that joining any industry is a new challenge. It's definitely a steep learning curve, but also in our line because of so many impressions that people have of us, the stigma, and its sales, and also like how do you go about a business generally? Because you're on your own, you're self-employed, it's self-employment, right? So basically, there's no guidance in that sense, lah, because you're on your own. And I mean, we have networks, but how to approach it? There's no guidebook on how to go about. It's not as if you have a mentor or senior or manager who can guide you along the way. So I think the initial part, that's where the struggle is. At least for me, right? If let's say, for example, if someone can guide me a predecessor and let me know this is the way to go and this is a list of numbers to call and what to do, I think it'd be much easier. But because everything is all out there, right, out in the sea like that, you just don't know where to start.
So you were in pursuit of a how,
Yes, yeah, which
a
is why,
system to do things.
yeah, a how and a not that there's always a why, but what to do, who to approach, how to go about doing it, where to find these people. Yeah.
You went from this very lost kid
Yeah.
to top of the table.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, to me, MDRT has always been something that I don't particularly have. You know, some people have this like huge passion about MDRT.
Right.
Doing MDRT to them is like, there's this guy in my previous company who did a tattoo of like the MDRT logo.
Serious.
I'm like,
Okay.
walao, you have,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
the passion is just, to me, it's over the top.
Okay.
MDRT has never been something that I feel like it's, to me, it represents a certain achievement,
Right.
but it's not something that is so exclusive as many people make it out to be.
Oh, to be tattooed on the body lah, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah.
are Olympian and you do the Olympic rings on your arm,
okay.
that one I can understand because it's
Right.
something there's
Right.
so much culture and so much history behind it. But top of the table is different.
I won't be tattooing TOT on my back for sure. For sure.
Top of the table in my
Yes.
mind is different.
Okay. What do you think of top of the table then when it comes to you?
Top of the table,
Yeah.
you see, you can get lucky with MDRT.
All right.
Anyone who is in a business, when you are licensed to provide this advisory business by MAS, right?
Right.
You can get lucky.
Okay.
You can get lucky with a sudden contact. You can get lucky with one big case.
Right.
And you can do MDRT in one big case.
True.
You can. In fact, you can do one COT in one big case as well.
Agree.
Seen it before.
Yep.
But you
TOT,
can't do it with TOT
why not?
unless you do it with multiple big cases.
Okay.
I mean, of course, unless you are very, very lucky and you do it
Right.
with like one huge case lah,
Right.
one huge
Yes, yes.
humongous case,
Right.
which is very unlikely, and you didn't do that with one humongous case, right?
I didn't.
So, TOT, right, represents to me when someone tells me that he or she has done TOT, right, it tells me immediately something about that person, even without me knowing something about that person's life.
Okay.
It's surely that person is highly disciplined. That person knows what he or she is doing. Person is very committed in the business.
Right.
And that's why he or she has done well enough to achieve TOT. What's your TOT story?
Actually, TOT is a dream that I thought I would never be able to achieve. It's
Many
something-
people don't even
yeah.
think about TOT.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It was never a consideration.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from when you say MDRT is like maybe you can get lucky. To us, many of us, MDRT could be the benchmark of the industry. Okay, so that to me was the benchmark. That in order to make sure that I'm on the right pace, being consistent, that's the goal that I'm aiming for every year, right? COT is something that it's 3 times of that within a year. So I thought that, okay, this is like my highest ever I can ever do. Okay, and if I can hit that, it's like, wow, okay, I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah. But so the story was that I was very lucky last year. By March, which is only the first quarter, I hit my MDRT. So I went on to do my daily business and activities, and I never thought that in that year there would be a life-changing moment for me. Never. So I just kept on doing and doing. If you ask my assistant or you ask my team or you ask my manager, they will tell you that Serene doesn't get her numbers. She doesn't know what her sales are. She just keeps doing it. And which is what I love. Because I don't like to be brought down by numbers. I just enjoy what I do and I go out there and just do it. I just meet people and I meet anybody and anywhere, anytime. And that's the joy of it. Because online, we don't have to hit a certain industry to reconnect. I can talk to someone in the toilet. I can talk to someone on the street. I can talk to someone on a train. I can just be friends. And then before you know that, right, they become my clients. And that's the amazing story about it. I've talked to people that I know online, became friends, and then now they're my clients. There was one funny episode. I know we're kind of digressing for the topic of TOT, but I just want to share this incident. Sure. I was coming home late from office, and I just want to distress. So I was playing my hair, tying and looking at my reflection. And suddenly I heard this laughter behind. And I turned around, I saw this lady, and I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you were watching on me doing all this goofy stuff."
Sorry, where is this again?
Robinson Road. Like just opposite my office. I was just walking home.
Okay.
Yeah, so she laughed and she said, I saw all that, what you're doing with her. And I said, oh, okay, my God, so sorry. I'm so embarrassed. Okay. So anyway, why are you back home so late? So we started talking on the streets and then realized that we were working very near each other. Then she said that she's also in the finance industry and we became fast friends. We got numbers and said, let's one day do lunch. Just like that, a stranger. And I thought it's just lip service and something that would never happen, just like, formalities. But really, sometimes we reconnected and really met up for lunch nearby. And then she was telling me what she does, her hobbies and stuff. Then we got to know each other a lot better. Then eventually asked me, what do you do? So I told her. And then she was wondering, hey, can you help me take a look at my portfolio and see how we can better improve it? And we did. To date, right, she's one of my most more loyal clients. She really believes in what we do. And she has a lot of her assets are actually with us. Yeah, she's in close contact with me. We celebrate birthdays, we celebrate Christmases and all the festivals together. And can you imagine, because we know each other through a random street talk? Yeah, just like that when I was walking home and playing my hair. How many people can do that? That to talk to someone randomly while playing the hair, become a friend and then a client. Yeah, this is just one of the many interesting, unique episodes that I have with my clients. Yeah. And I mean, again, if I'm selling I don't know, IT or like a particular product, for example, for a company like, I don't know, water filters, I don't think, maybe you can, but it's just different. Yeah. So this is the part I really enjoy, the freedom of talking to anybody, anytime and anywhere, working with anywhere, anytime. So back to TOT. So I went on to keep doing the stuff I do, meeting people, connecting people, and if something comes along, great. But each appointment that I have, I always subject it to God. If God wants something for it to happen, He will make it happen. If it's not, it's fine. Just move along. So I think in May, when I was celebrating my birthday or my husband's birthday at a staycation, a client called again. And there's a client who came back with repeated purchase. So she said, I really like the solution you gave me 2 years ago. I really want to get it another time. And this is what you said, the case that came in, a big case. So from that month, it was a lot of celebrations, like my birthdays and my husband's birthday, and then this case. So in May, I became a court of table already. So with that, there are about 7 more months to go. Then I was wondering, what am I going to do with the next 7 months? I can kind of like slack and not do anything, but knowing my personality, I won't. So I just went on and on, continuing to do what I do. So before that, I think by August, September, my team was telling me, my manager was telling me that, hey, do you know that you're very close to being a TOT? I was like, what TOT? No way. So because I never keep track of my sales, right? I just keep doing because I do enjoy it. So work to me was never work. Because I'm always going at people, interacting, chatting. It doesn't feel like work to me. So it's a good and bad thing because I don't know when to stop. Yeah, but a good thing is that I didn't feel like it's work. So it's never enjoyable or unpleasant for me. But the bad thing is that there's no line drawn. So I can always be working like 24/7 every day. Yeah. So then he told so my manager told me that why don't you aim for top of table this year? And if you fail, at least you know you've given your best. So he compared it like to climbing a mountain, like hitting the summit. If you're 80-90% there, wouldn't you want to give it a shot that you hit the top? So at that point, really top of the table was never something that I was aspiring for, never. But because I was there and 80-90% off to the top already, and I didn't want to give it a miss. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm really going to give it my best. At the end of the day, at the end of the December that year, if I can't, I know that I've given my best. And that's good enough for me. So I make sure that I put all stops to ensure that the goals are met. Yeah. It was a very trying moment. Like, it's not as if you already know that MDRT may not be easy. COT is even harder. TOT is like, wow, right? And I'm not trying to brag or anything, but really I struggled to make it TOT also. I was pulling my hair, being all stressed and everything. Yeah, so it was a difficult time. My family and my sister, my team can testify to this, that it wasn't an easy journey for me. But was it enjoyable? Was it adrenaline rush? Definitely. Yeah. So when I hit it, it was like yes, I finally did it. So the sense of euphoria was real. Yeah. So when I hit it, it's like, okay, I'm very happy where this happened. Yeah. Whether it happens again or not, we don't know. But I'm glad that it actually happened. Yeah.
So last year you did TOT.
Yeah.
2 years ago you did COT, right?
2 years ago, I was a bit short of a COT. I was like, I think COT was 3 times. I said 2.5 times MDRT.
Okay, so you have 2 MDRTs and 1 TOT.
So the first year when I joined this current company I joined this company this year will be going to my 4th year. So the first few months I managed to get back my entire year's income with the previous company. So that was already a booster for me. So that year, the next year I got MDRT. So the second year there, I got 2.5 times MDRT. And also that was the time that people started scolding me. You see lah, if you have managed your numbers well, you will know that you're that little bit short of a COT and you would have chonged for it, right? But because I didn't know. Yeah. So I just kept on doing my stuff, right? So that's why that year, the 3rd year, which is last year, I was very, very mindful of the numbers. And but I didn't want to be in charge of that. So my assistant, which is the one keeping track of the sales, and together my manager, I just had to do what I enjoy. And they will update me where I've left off. Yeah.
Being someone who clearly enjoys the process of this job, right?
Right.
And this very genuine and personal kind of people-to-people interaction.
Right.
On the other hand, struggling between the expectations of managers, like you mentioned before, the numbers, running for... Because MDRT is not something... There's a deadline to achieving MDRT and achieving TOT.
Right.
How do you strike the balance between achieving all these accolades and you're not pushing clients hard to get what you want? What's this? Have you ever faced struggle and conflict with this?
Definitely. I think with the sales target and limited time, right? And I've never really liked to push my clients to get anything lah. Because you must be prepared that there's something you really want, you're comfortable with, and you believe in what we do, then you go for it. If not, seriously, there's no point. If there's no trust, seriously, there's no point. There's no point for a working relationship. So how do I balance this? If someone wants, feel for it, agrees with us, sure, we can start a working relationship. If it's not, I'll just move on. It's just a numbers game. So I try to reach out as many people as possible. That's just my way or my strategy. Yeah. It's not really a strategy. It's just like if you don't, then it's fine. You know, maybe not now, but maybe next time, or maybe when you see a need for it, or you start to see a different light, just like how I did for this industry, then maybe the timing will come again. So if not, I'll move on to the next one, because there's so many people's lives to be impacted, right? So just move on. Yeah.
What are your beliefs in your practice? In terms of the planning process, in terms of the work that you do for the clients?
I believe in being sincere, being genuine, being authentic. I guess if you could have a chance, which you unfortunately can't, I have a chat with my clients. My clients generally are friends in my life. If they know things that are going on in my life and very transparent about it. So people, when they buy a solution, they don't just buy a solution, they buy the person. They believe that this person is authentic, it's genuine, it's cares for them to manage their funds and their family situations better. So they engage you. Yeah, so that's one theory. I feel that you have to be authentic. So what you see was what you get. So to be honest, I very rarely put on makeup when I meet my clients. Yeah, that's just the way I am. Not that I'm formally dressed. I will dress professionally, but I feel that if my clients like me for what I suggest, being presentable is just a secondary thing. That's one. Then, as I say, carrying out for their welfare, right? So it comes to claims or not. I fight all claims as if it's my own claims. Yeah. So for example, a personal accident claim and all, I feel that it's deserving of it and it's not, somehow it's rejected. I will at least go and find out why. And if it's a reasonable ground for rejection, fine. But I wouldn't stop until I put out a good fight. Yeah. I think clients who have experienced my claim handling would actually agree to that as well. Yeah. And let me see. It's just, just some of the things I just think of, like how I run my business.
What about in terms of the approach towards crafting a solution? So, for example, for me, when I was in the business, my approach might be, I strongly believe in someone requiring a certain amount of coverage.
Right.
Or for you, I don't know, maybe you're more into investment, you're more into protection. What's the philosophy behind the solution that when you work with a client?
I believe in holistic planning, which many advisors do already. It's quite a cliche answer, in fact. But at the end of the day, it's what customers actually want. Our job is to let them know what they need to know. But what they feel is important is another thing altogether. So to me, number one, protection is a hospital plan, PA plan, things like that, protection, right? But if the client feels that, no, this is not what I want right now, who are we to say? Everybody's priority is different. So our job is to let them know options out there, what's the factors to consider. And if they choose otherwise, to say, no, I want to focus on my investment, for example, who are we to say, no, you're wrong? It's just like if I'm a doctor, I'm telling you, you're suffering from infection, you need antibiotics. But if you say you just want P-Bagao, for example, I will tell you that this won't solve the problem. But if you want it, I can't stop you. But my job is done when I tell you what is the essential things needed so that I don't shortchange you. Yeah. So when clients see the value and the reason behind it and they think about it, discuss as family, then they go for it. Yeah. You know that you've done a good job and that they buy the solution you give. But if they otherwise get something else, it's also, they're provocative. Nobody's to say that they're right or wrong. So there's something that I respect the client. Yeah. But I will, of course, emphasize on things that I feel that are important, essential to them, but ultimately I leave the choice to them.
I suspect I haven't gone deep into this enough because a lot of some people who are watching right now, I think the bigger question would be, how did the transformation happen?
Okay.
I remember there was once I invited you to my office.
Right.
You came down to my office.
Yes.
I still remember there was also probably once we met at 100 a.m.
Yeah.
over in Tanjong Pagar.
Right.
You were just lost.
Yeah.
If top of the table is like king of the jungle, right? At that time, you were like just a stray cat. You were worse off than me that time.
Yeah, definitely.
Because at least that time I knew what I was doing in
Right.
terms of like,
Yes.
when I sit down in front of someone, I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Can we go deeper into this transformation? Because I think it's what people who are in the industry,
Right.
they would love to hear from you a bit
Okay.
deeper about what happened.
Okay, again, many people have already approached me. Many people that I've talked to in the industry, sometimes invited for drinks and for meals and stuff. They want to know, what is the secret? What is the recipe? What is that?
What sparked the change, right?
Yeah. But to be honest, I don't have a secret like recipe that I can share, because I don't. I just keep doing it. But maybe I would share would be the mindset. Many people at the start of my career doubted my abilities. Yeah. And that was something that didn't sit well with me lah. I was very affected by it, and I let that eat into me. So, but that also channeled to become a negative kind of strong energy that propels me forward. Like when people tells you that you can't do this, you all the more you want to prove them right. Prove them wrong. Yeah, so that was another driving force for me, because I strongly believe I can do this. But when everyone else cannot see it, but you strongly can, so the why makes it very compelling reason why you must succeed. So that was one. So the first step was that, okay, I need to clear. I set very small achievable goals that I can see happening. For example, if I want to earn maybe 10,000 a month, then I make sure that there's a goal. So every month I make sure that in that first year or so I hit it. So when I hit it already, next thing, what is it? Is it always about money? No. It's just being a better version of yourself. So the next year I said, okay, can you be a better version of yourself? It's not just the money, but can you do it shorter? Like, can you do it more efficiently? Can you reach out to more people? So that becomes my next goal. But by and by, right, you realize that all these goals, when add up together, they will form you to the bigger direction of a TOT. I didn't realize that. They form a bigger jigsaw puzzle. We reach a certain income, a certain network, number of clienteles, and if you keep going at this rate of expanding and being a better version of yourself, definitely in time to come, right, you will have hit there. Yeah. So I think I wouldn't say advice, but maybe a strategy I used was to set very measurable goals that gives me that confidence. Yeah. And then to think about the driving force that picks you up when you're down. Because in our industry, everybody says it's lonely and it's full of rejections, full of self-doubt. And basically, you need a lot of discipline. Like, to be honest, I can be not working for 3 months and nobody will nag, right? Even the nag, so what? So it needs you yourself to pick yourself up. Yeah. So you are the reason why they can be a success. No one else can. Yeah.
Can you tell me more about your prospecting methods?
Prospecting,
or your mode of doing business now and last time? Referrals, cold calls?
Yeah. When I was new to the industry, I did everything because I was that hungry. I think hunger is another thing that people need to be mindful of. If you're hungry enough, anything can happen. Because you've never had food for so long, right? Come on, if it's a $1 drink, I can think about it and say, go home and have my teh-o right on my own. That's already a sign of the desperation in that sense. So if you're that hungry to do better, definitely you will find every avenue to try something new. So I remember when I first started, I already had a son, but that second year, I was pregnant again. That didn't stop me from doing sales. So I went street prospecting, I went door knocking, I went everything lah. Okay, and I remember the time whereby I was heavily pregnant. I was still doing surveys, and on the streets of Raffles Place, you know, or like going to door knocks, like going level by level. And my colleagues had to tell me that, hey, you're so pregnant now, can you just stay at the door? Stay at the lift and just press the lift. Okay, don't even bother going down to the stairs because, you know, you never know what happens. So you just stay there and press the lift. But I could have said that, you know what, I should be sitting at home enjoying this motherhood thing, right? This pregnancy. But why was I out there trying to improve myself? Yeah, because I didn't want to let go of any opportunities. You never know. So I think my another philosophy in life is never try, never know. And anything is a possibility. Any experience, right, could lead you to the next big thing. You never know. And life is just so short. If you don't give it a shot, you never know. Yeah. So with that, I try all avenues with that. So even as with my current company, I already at MDRT, I took up the challenge to be at roadshows. I've never done that. And to go approach strangers with vouchers and everything to say, can you look at this plan and look at this survey, right? And people asking me, but you're MDRT and so many times already, why do you even bother trying? Because again, you never know. And it's a very humbling experience. Yeah. I learn from peers as well, and these peers have become my friends. They're rooting for me to be a TOT, and I'm trying to so I have a lot of congratulatory notes and words from them. So yeah, I feel very encouraged that we went through this together.
You spoke about changing company.
Yeah.
Changing company essentially means changing a working environment, changing being in a whole new kind of system, culture.
Right. Yeah.
You have a different manager, different directors. What was this change like for you, and how important was it for you?
I always attribute my success to God, and another person that I'm very, very grateful for is my manager. Yeah. He and I were working at the X company. And
you're in the X company.
Yeah. So we are both foodies. So during training and all, he saw me like eating, and we started talking through. We were getting food lah. But his experience was that he told me that he saw me always taking down notes early in the morning, like there's sharing sessions and all we learn, right? I was always very furiously writing down notes, but he was wondering, what am I writing? Or why is she still so lost after she's like so on and enthused about all this learning? Why is she not there? So one day he approached me and asked, are you going to come and join me in this current company?
So after he already left?
He left.
He left first?
Yeah, he left. He didn't tell me. And that time I was ready. I gave birth to number 2. I was on maternity leave. And he asked me to out for coffee.
But that time, was he in the same team as you?
No.
In the first company?
No, never. We were never in the same team.
So he just took notice of you
because
and your attitude lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was wondering like, why is this girl always writing stuff and notes, right? And then I was wondering why this guy was eating with me, right? So I was like noticing like, we always eat together one. Then he noticing like, how come she always taking out notes? So I'm like, very hardworking, but why is still not there? So I was wondering like, he looks very unassuming. He's not someone that is very flashy or something. He's a very quiet person.
He's not I would say, in terms of like you mentioned about being flashy, right?
Yeah.
Typical kind of, there's this typical
salespeople
kind of managers in the industry.
Right. Yeah, he's not.
Yeah.
And to be honest, when people ask me to date, so TOT, why did you join this person in the first place many years ago? And I said that because of who he is, how he dresses and how he talks. If you come up to me in a suit, right, in all branded wear, very likely I will join you. Yeah, especially if you drive me in a flashy car and everything. Nothing wrong with that. It's just for me. Yeah, maybe it's inspiring for other people, especially youngsters, millennials. I'm against stereotyping, but it just wasn't for me. I just don't want to go back in the rat race of getting all these things. I mean, do I buy such things? Sometimes I do, but these are not the reason why I'm doing what I do. So when I saw him, he was always in his Under Armour polo. Yeah, Under Armour. It's like his uniform. So every time we meet him, even with clients, he's always in Under Armour. Until we make him like a Under Armour mascot. Yeah. And he's very humble, and he's very, very patient with me. Yeah, so I can be very intense. I can be very eager to know and inquire, and I have very long working hours. But he is very patient to guide me through and to work through these hours with me, even the wee hours of the night. Something I'm very appreciative of. I can say in a way, without him, I won't be where I am today. The other person also would be my current director. He was someone that was there for me when I had self-doubts and all this, the soft skills part lah. Because my manager taught me the hard skills of how to be a better advisor in terms of solutions, creative ideas. But my director was the one who came from a softer approach on how I should be a better person, how I should talk to people. Yeah, and he was also the one that had the belief in me. There was one interesting episode maybe I can share. I never wanted to engage a PA because I feel that why would you need a PA? Because you're so, it's your own business and can't you just do your own work? I mean, why would you want to spend like few thousands or like another income on someone else when you can do your work yourself? He actually told me this. How about this? If every month you want to earn this amount of money, you get a PA, you pay the PA her income and still earn this money. And if you cannot meet, I will top it up.
So that means...
So for example,
you need a certain amount every month.
Let's say for example, I wanted 5,000.
Yep.
All right. And if I were to pay the PA 2,000, then I will only bring back 3,000, right?
That means you need 7,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if If I only brought that, then he'll top it up, that extra 2,000, such that I will bring home 5,000.
So that means whatever he will top it up to make sure you have 7,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So the figure you gave him was 5K?
Yeah, at that point. I said, I just need to make sure that this was my last drawn from my government job, right? So if every month I can bring back 5K and still have a PA, why not?
You are good.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he said, okay, let's just do it. And I was surprised and I asked him, why would he do that for me? We'll see, Serene, we'll see, he said. And I was very doubtful. So I said, but there's nothing lost for me, ma, because it's like, I don't lose anything. If I don't bring back, I don't have to pay anything, right? So I just went on. So the first month when I engaged an assistant, and then he came to me and said, do I need to top up anything? No. So the second month went on, he came back to me again and said, do you still need me to top up anything? And I said, no. The third month came and he said, do I need to top up anything? Okay, I get your point now. So with that, I understand that he saw something that I didn't see. And because I didn't see it, I didn't believe in myself. But he saw it and gave me that belief, and therefore, when it happened, when real results showed, then I started to believe in myself more. So yes, this was one of the initial points of people who have kept me going, as well as clients. There are clients who were my pioneer clients. That means when no one else seems to have believed what I do, but they decided to take a leap of faith with me to make sure that the whole entire family's portfolio is with me. And with that, they gave me even more confidence that I need to protect these people. They believe in me. Yeah. So my manager, my directors, my clients, my pioneer clients especially. Yeah.
We spoke about some young people, they're having a certain attitude in the business.
Yeah.
Being in the business for 12 years myself, right? I know that there's this later I sound very offensive. There's this Aunty Power
Yeah.
that I see in my company
Okay.
previously.
All right.
Aunties are amazing.
Okay. I heard. I don't know where my
Aunties are amazing. Of course, there are a lot of young people who are very hardworking.
Right.
They hustle and they shuffle their feet and they. But at the same time, there's this different quality and this different a different way people in mid-career switch or maybe people with a bit more life experience approach the business as well. What do you see is this Aunty Power that I'm talking about? What is it about?
I think aunties, they already have a certain network of people, right? And life experiences, and they can relate better. Let's say, for example, aunties are in 40s or 50s, right? She's been a mom before. She's been through the life stages of different people, right? Being, starting, coming to the workforce, starting a family, getting a house and things like that. So they have experienced this. So the vast of life experiences would have helped them understand the
advisory process.
Yes. Okay, that's one. And also because like certain things that they went through when they were younger days, they can relate to a young client, for example, or even an old client. So in that sense, the catchment is wider because they can relate it to more people because they've been through that same stage. For me, that's what I think. And aunties generally, I guess with life experience and life lessons, you grow to be, you gain wisdom. You realize that things that won't work in the past, then how do you improve it? So improving it sharpen your saw, right? You'll be better off at approaching another similar case, for example. But someone young, you have the energy, but you don't have the life experiences. So something you like, and neither do you have the network. And aunties, they have this community. I know of
Auntie gang.
Yeah. And there's the mahjong kaki, there's shopping kaki, there's the Taobao kaki.
High tea kaki.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So when you hit this kind of networks, right, it's the kind of camaraderie is the woman power that you have. Yeah.
There's one more thing I realized about aunties is that a lot of aunties, right? Of course, they already have their family.
Right.
You see, the flexibility and the self-autonomy of the business, right, is really a double-edged sword. When you're young, you have no commitments, right?
Right.
You spend so much time just wondering about and thinking you have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Aunties different. Aunties, they need to fetch their kids at school. After school, they need to, this year my boy is having PSLE, next year my boy is having this and that.
Right.
So I do realize that a lot of aunties, a lot of middle-aged people in the business have this sense of urgency, mission, and discipline that sometimes the younger people lack.
I think because most of the aunties are wearing so many hats. So time is really something that's very scarce. Youngsters, maybe if like so many things to do, a lot of activities, but there's only one role. As a working mother, you have the role of a mom, the role of a daughter, a role of a working person, or even a leader at work. Yeah, and maybe in church as well. So all these things all of us only got 24 hours. So that's why every time, right, so-called auntie is anybody for that matter is actually very strong for that, because we are very rushing for that minute time. And you also need to factor in me time. Yeah, because we are not working robots, we need me time as well. Yeah, so with all this, right, so many roles that we are doubling up, but how do we maximize time? That's why we are very eager to do the things, and the speed and productivity is there. Yeah.
COVID-19, we talk about, the great resignation, people taking a lot of time off to reflect on themselves, their mental wellness.
Right.
For people who are thinking of, giving up their 9-to-5 job and going into something, hearing a story and thinking of whether they are up for it or not, what's your advice to them?
I think if you look back the last 2 years, right, COVID happened in 2019. The effects of it is in 2020. 2020, I hit my MDRT. 2021, I hit my top of table. This was all during COVID times. If they're wondering and worried that COVID doesn't have a lot of opportunities, then the track records have shown otherwise. I don't think it's so much about the market, because when the market crash, people do need you. But question is, are you equipped the skills and knowledge, and are you there to guide them through this storm right now? Yeah. So there's people who are telling me that they're thinking of leaving the industry because a lot of working from home, and maybe there's a shortage of manpower now. They're doubling up a lot of roles, and they are feeling the heat from the management and all. They want to leave
their current jobs.
Their
9-to-5 jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then the uncertainty of coming to online with there's no basic pay, right? But my point is, if you know what to do, know where your mentors are, what you want in life, I think it's a matter of time that you reach there.
So you will not hesitate to sell the career to someone else?
Yes, but I need the person to be ready for this. Like, for example, if you're a new dad and both of you, your wife is a housewife and you're a new dad, may not be the right time because there's a lot of uncertainty. So maybe unless you really know what you want, how you want in, you must commit to the hours that you're willing to put in. Yes, why not? This is a job that's not just fulfilling financially, but you really have an impact on people. As cliche as it sounds, many people can tell you, oh, sure, you're helping people, but we know for a fact that we are doing the right thing and we are feeling it and the impact and the benefits of people. Yeah.
During our pre-interview, we spoke about your manager, and something that struck me the most was that you mentioned that, if someone already has the right working attitude,
Right.
Putting in the effort, give it to him, and
it will be possible.
Confirm will be MDRT.
Yeah.
And we're talking about MDRT as like just a benchmark, as a guideline, right? But we all know that sometimes in this industry, it's not that you work hard, you will see result. There's a process. But what is this process and what's this confidence that you have in a manager that you know he's doing, that when someone joins him, he is able to work his magic on him or her?
He's very creative. He's unique. I think plans are all out there, the similar plans, right? But he can look at a client's portfolio, think of creative ideas on how to better manage their funds for them. And he does it without being pushy. As a very soft-spoken person, so at a client's point of view, it's very palatable. Whatever is sharing, right, is something okay for your consideration, but I'm not going to shove it down your throat. That's for client's perspective. I mean, I've been with him at Joint Free Works. I've seen how he talks to clients. He's very patient, a bit loso sometimes, but it's with the genuine heart, right? From agent's point of view, why would I work with someone like that? Because never once have he made me felt stupid. I mean, there are managers before that when I ask a question, they will make you feel so stupid that you don't even bother wanting to ask any more questions. He has never done that. And sometimes I ask similar questions repeatedly, and he never lose patience or lose his temper. So sometimes it's I feel bad that I'm the one losing my patience with him. But he's always there. Yeah. I mean, you also seen how I teach, right? So I have my I can be pretty impatient sometimes.
Yep.
So but he's able to handle me and he knows my strengths and weaknesses. He plays it well with these cards. And as I said, because being a mother, my active hours are actually at night. And he entertains me at night. As in, with queries or questions, right? He won't shy away from it. He won't tell me that this is past my certain hours already. I will not be able to answer you. No. He's usually there whenever he can. Yeah. Yeah. So I think these are qualities that not all leaders can have. Some people are very clear that, okay, this is I need to safeguard my working hours, and other than that it's for family. But not every agent works within the time scope. Yeah. Yeah, he's able to help to accommodate. Yeah. That's something I'm very grateful for also.
Do you consider yourself, do you see yourself going into management?
I do see one day, but I'm not sure whether it's soon or not. Because if I hit my own financial goals, I also want to give back to help someone who was once like me also. Yeah, and I do enjoy the imparting of the information and sharing of experiences. Yeah, and it's also like teaching, that you teach someone else like what the things they went through and how to help them become. And the joy of seeing them succeed in life is something that I think is really rewarding. Yeah, just like how I see you guys graduating to being who you are today. Some of you are fathers already, some of you are really running businesses, and
many of us are becoming fathers. Yeah.
So the joy of seeing that, right, is similar as how you see your agents doing well. Yeah, and when you reach a certain level, you just want to see the people around you doing well and be happy. I think that's my goal. That hopefully one day I can do that for my team. I don't need a lot of people. I just need a good, solid, lean team who are happy and know what they want. Yeah, correct.
So is there an aspiration for the business? Where your ultimate do you have an ultimate goal in the business? Like you just want a team of 20, 10, 30, become a director one day? Or?
Maybe not a director, but I want to be someone that can inspire others. Yeah. I mean, my clients will always be my clients. They're going to be with me for the rest of my life But, and as long as I'm alive. But that being said, I also want to make sure that there's another person who can continue this legacy, that, who was once like me, who was jaded and didn't believe in the industry, and then suddenly realized, hey, it's something different and I can value at people. So it's like a ripple effect. If it has that ripple effect on me, I want to have that ripple effect on someone else, that they continue to help other people. So that's my dream. Yes. So by doing it alone is very limiting. If I have a team of people who likewise think the same values and they can do the same thing, then yes. And they will in time also have that same ripple effect, paying it forward. Yeah.
We spoke about earlier about how being top of the table is like king of jungle, right?
Yeah.
Lion is king of jungle. Then, when you were earlier on, when you were lost, you were like a stray cat. What's your spirit animal in the business?
Wow, spirit animal. I don't know, but my manager calls me a phoenix. Yeah, and I asked him why. Is it like some roasted chicken? And then he said, because a phoenix is this mythical, very powerful creature with all this strength and power, and it actually raised from dust. As in, you thought you were gone already, but it raised from dust. You see, you were from nothing, and it became something so powerful and formidable.
So it's another version of a stray cat to king of jungle also.
But if you're not careful, then I become a roasted duck again, or roasted chicken. Yeah. Yeah.
We spoke about how the industry is pretty saturated. We spoke a lot about your approach, and is there any other thing that you feel make you different from others? Standing out from the other practitioners in the industry?
To be honest, I don't think I'm very different from people. Yeah, but why then? I'm very lucky to manage to do that, and why others are also trying. I think everybody's different. There's no like unique or you're more special or different from anybody. I think that whoever comes to your life, they cross your life for a particular reason. Yeah, whether, how, or why, we don't know. So I just feel that for me, it's just wanting to be the authentic version of me. If I genuinely feel for you and I propose some solution for you and you also see the way I do, then yes, something did happen, and then it can happen from there. Yeah, so I don't think that I'm very, very special from people. And which is why the shout out to everyone is that if I can do it, anybody should be honest, you can do it. It's not like, wow, she must have this X factor. That's why. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. You must have what you said, discipline, commitment, and belief, and all the sacrifices you made. Yeah, but if you can do that, I mean, it's also a matter of time that you can be a top table.
It's possible, lah.
Definitely.
Definitely possible.
Yes. It's not like some special caliber or ability person to be there. We're not some like, like superhero.
Rocket scientist
No. We don't have the X. I mean, I don't know about X factor now, but we're not that different. Yeah. Really, anybody can be. Yeah.
Having already done like top of table, a lot of people will feel like, okay, what's next? How would you describe where you are in life right now? And what do you have like ideal moment for the future?
Wow.
Where do you want to go from here?
Interesting topic. Because I'm always just going with the next step, right? I didn't really gonna think about the long-term view of this career. Because it's like I'm running a little race of my own and enjoying the jog, right? Or the run there. I never gonna think about, where's this gonna lead to? Of course, eventually I know what I want, but in the bigger picture, never really quite thought of it yet. Because if you think about it, I was in a previous company for 2 years, very struggling and very lost. So the true advisory planning work only began like 3 years ago. So in a way, I think about it is, I see it as like I'm like a toddler just learning to walk and then now starting to run. To have a big picture of where I'm going is something quite new to me. Not that I shouldn't think about it. It's not something that is so fixed right now. Yeah. So after getting TOT, what's next, right? As I said, TOT was really something that I never dreamed of getting. It's really like unexpected miracle. But now that happened, I hope that story continues to like inspire people. And then I still, for myself, I just still want to keep maintaining that MDRT goals. Why not just like, why is the MDRT so important? I think it's because it's just a standard that at least I can measure that I'm still on the right track. Yeah, doesn't also mean that if I'm not MDRT, I'm not on the right track. It's just that at least I know that this is a consistent goal that's in line with the industry. Yeah, that I'm doing the right thing still. I'm enjoying what I do. I'm paying the bills. I'm still supporting my family. Yeah. And if you're asking me the next 10 years what I want to do, it's already been 3 years of MDRT. I hope that at least I hit 7 more good years of MDRT to be a lifetime
member.
Yeah.
Great. Do you have any struggles with balancing your family time and your work?
Definitely. Yeah. Actually, I'm very career driven. Yeah. And luckily, I have supportive family members. My mom, my helper, my in-laws, my husband especially, who are helping me with coping the family duties. I think it's quite painful when my son, when he was asked, right, where's mommy's favorite place? Where does she like to hang out, right?
Oh no, did he say office?
Yes, he said office. And what does mommy like to do? And it was one of those school questions that the teachers want to know better understanding of the kids' interaction with the parents, right? He said mommy loves to work. And the favorite place is the office. Yeah. And every time I feel a bit guilty when they ask me, mommy, where are you going? Is it to office? Is it to work again? Yeah, then I will, yes, I'm going to work so that on the weekends I can spend time with you. So I struggled with that for a long time because some of the clients can only meet you on the weekends. So sometimes your weekends are burned as well, right? Especially got events last time. But right now I try to secure my weekends for my children. So Monday to Friday I may work very late. And when I say work late and work long hours, it could be more than 12 hours a day. Yeah, that's why I even had people telling me that, okay, you need to lock out her schedule, like Wednesday, make it a date night, or, you know, which I also...
box scheduling kind of thing.
Yeah, but I compromise lah. So luckily my husband is also, he's in sales also, so he's able to accommodate lah. So we can tweak around, and sometimes we consciously want to spend with it date night once a week, if we can. Yeah.
Missy, do you have any other things to add? If not, I have one last question for you.
Go ahead.
So, you know, this series, right? It's called Miracle in a Briefcase. The reason why I name it Miracle in a Briefcase, I actually heard this from my boss. So, you know, being in insurance, having the license to sell a protection product, right, makes us special and unique.
Correct.
You know, during a time of crisis in our client's life, we are able to deliver a miracle in a briefcase.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, and that's why it was called Miracle in a Briefcase.
Right.
In your opinion, you know, what's the biggest miracle that you create on a daily basis in your work? The miracle that you carry in your briefcase, what is it?
Wow. I don't know about being a miracle in a briefcase lah, but my motto in this career is, and life lah generally, is always to be a blessing to others. In all that I do, be it a friendship, be it like a daughter, or be it a wife, or be it your advisor, for example, I hope that someday I become a blessing to someone's life. Whether is it to provide support, financial aid, or like to be a friend, you know, someone that you can rely on to grow old with, then to be a blessing lah. Yeah. So I don't really have a specific thing that I call it a blessing, but everything that I do, hopefully it contributes to bring happiness or like comfort to somebody, be it a client, a friend, or a colleague, whichever. So to me, if someday, many years later, this colleague or this person sees the effect of my impact on their lives, then I think that could be a miracle on its own already. Yeah, like to be honest, like today, will we have ever thought that when you're 15, I will be having this conversation with you? No.
Or even like a few years back, you know, when we met.
Yeah. So to me, then these are the moments that we live for. So I strongly believe that we live for moments. We don't live for the future because it's a very long unknown. We don't live for dreams because again, you don't know what happened. Well, we live for moments that we won't regret. So like right now, this very day when I'm having this conversation with you, I mean, I really enjoy this conversation. Yeah, it's a very interpersonal, kind of very personal jog back of memory. And I really, if you ask me, well, many years ago, would you have thought that this day would come whereby you interview in such a manner? No.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful and I'm enjoying it. So it's this moment in life, like today, March 2022, that we had this very special moment. Yeah. So I also hope that I create these such moments with different people that cross my life, the past of my life lah. Yeah.
Okay, one last question. I suddenly thought of this question.
Sure.
I hope it's something that you can give me some thoughts about.
Right.
So, you know, when you are TOT, right, in any sales organization, your production speaks louder than anything else.
Okay.
So when you are in a sales organization, when you are one of the company's top producers,
Right.
you do have, sometimes you have some influence, you have some moments with the management, with industry leaders and all. Is there something in the industry that you hope can improve or can change for the better?
You know, I wish to say, and I agree with you, that, it's like I miss Singapore to represent Singapore and talk to all these people and I make a change in the world. No, ironically, no.
Don't have. Really?
Yes.
The CEO will know you.
Yeah, they will know me as like the leaders will know me. Oh, that's the Tesla girl who didn't win the Tesla.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
that's the girl who like is always winning out the lucky draw prizes. But that's about it. I don't have a bigger say. And it's not as if we've got privileges or like, you know, being the diva. No, I don't think so. It's just that for me, the TOT is really for my personal growth and to know that I can achieve it. And hopefully that this story that I share people, that hey, I was from nothing. It's not as if I'm coming from a banking background of like, I've influenced, I've like a huge network. I don't. My TOT came from production in terms of volume and maybe one or two like bigger cases. But it was not like a big case that flew in just like that. It was not parachuted down. It's through hard work, sheer hard work, discipline, determination, sacrifices, and a whole lot of like why you want to do this that made me where I am today.
So the industry, is there something you wish can improve in industry?
Industry, hopefully there's more greater awareness of it. That a lot of people actually still have this stigma about us, and they feel that insurance agents, you're begging for my business. I'm not saying this, not that we aren't looking for business, but hopefully there's more respect given, because we are not like some a salesperson coming to ask you to buy things and you know like a vacuum cleaner. We genuinely care, and hopefully people see it from a different light that give us a chance to show that we do care. Whether you feel that way or not, you can decide much later. Yeah, I mean that's what I feel about the industry, like, because it's I'm sorry, not industry. I think the society. Yeah, people do have you're the same. You just want to sales. You're just salesperson. We're not like selling cars or anything. We are going through this whole working transaction with you. You know, it's not just a one-off thing. It's a whole life ahead of us. And again, right, as I mean, a transaction or a sales is just a business dealing. But how many people can come into your life and say, when you need us, right, and you're in a crisis, we come in. When your child is in hospital and you are crying because your child is bleeding, we are there. When your loved ones is not there, we are there. Where are these people when you bought the house and you bought your cars and you bought your your elite vacuum cleaners and all? But they're not. But we are. And for that, right, I think that I didn't give my agent enough credit back then. One incident maybe I'd like to share since we're at this topic. I lost my father when I was 17, right? And we didn't believe in insurance. And he didn't buy any insurance and much for himself. But he bought something for me, but not much for himself. Maybe like 10,000 kind of coverage. And he was a teacher back then. So a teacher's pay, roughly is about, maybe like maybe close to 100K. But if it's 10,000, it's only 10%. And your wife is not working, your child is still studying. Do you think 10K is enough? It's definitely not. So at that point, the NTUC agent came to his wake and he passed a $10,000 check to my mother and said to her, "I'm sorry, madam, I didn't do my part to stress to your husband the importance of insurance." His incident taught me that I must do my part to let the family know. Whether they buy it or not is their choice, but I must do my due diligence. When he told me this, when I told him that I came on board this industry, he repeated the same story to me, and that was also another life lesson that I learned.
Who is he? You mean you are still in touch with the NTUC agent?
Yeah. Because I took over all my NTUC plans, right? Yeah, so I did tell him that I'm in this line now. I would like to take over my own policies. And he was congratulating me and saying that it's a very good industry, you did the right thing, and then I'm sure your family's portfolio and everything in good hands. And then he also took the opportunity to apologize to me that I'm so sorry that...
Once again.
Yeah, because I didn't do a holistic planning for your family, and I just went with what your parents wanted for you, that I didn't protect your parents. Yeah, and therefore you and your mom had to struggle and worry about finances back then. So I'd like to really apologize to you in person.
Again, after 20 years, he apologized again, right?
Yeah, when I took over the things. So it means that even now he's like much older, like Oppa, right? In this industry for so long already, and he feels that it stings him. And I didn't want it to happen to any of us in our line, that we never help a family just because we were afraid. So,
our own ego.
Our ego, our pride, our fear, everything, right? That just put it out there. Let the people know what they need to know. Whether they choose or not, it's up to them. If it's not your fault. But his point is, it's his fault because he didn't even think of letting us know. So his lesson taught me a lesson, that therefore this is one of my ways of I will tell any family, if they think that I'm pushing, at least I've done my due diligence, you see. Yeah, whether they buy it or not, great. If they see the same thing as me, then great. Yeah. So I think this is something that maybe all agents should, especially new agents, should be mindful of. Not be afraid of fear, the pride or anything. You just say what you need to say for the sake of the client.
Put it on the table.
Put it on the table, put it out there for them to decide. If they say yes, great. If they say no, maybe not now. Yeah. But you did your part.
Great.
Yeah.
Any other things to add?
I think you said quite a lot already.
Okay. I'm very grateful to you coming down here 2 times.
Likewise.
Yeah, actually 3 times. 2 times. But it's I'm very happy to interview. I'm very happy to have seen you grown. The funny thing is, probably you're mentioning about this special moment that we are sharing now, right? The funny thing is, the roles has reversed, right? Like now I've left the industry, I'm interviewing you from an outsider point of view.
Right.
But I'm always appreciative to you.
Thank you.
For being very, very generous with the boys. The boys meaning, me and the Cat High boys.
Right.
You have shown us that the intricacies of a relationship, right, is really not just by words but by actions as well. Every year inviting us over to your place, and also it's a very long-term relationship that one blink of an eye is 20 years. 20 years,
Yeah, it's true. Like to be honest, if it looks like 20 years, but I can literally still see and remember you're in your uniforms,
Yeah.
It's 20 years, it's not 20 days, 20 months, but yet, if you're asking me, do I still remember how you all look like when you were 15? Yes. I can forget a lot of things in my daily activities, but I think about those moments, I still remember. Yeah. Where our classroom are, what we did, and incidents.
Yeah, like I was telling you, I still remember the car that you drove that time, Even the top that you wore, we still remember as well.
Oh my goodness.
So I thank you
Thank you
for
for
coming to do this
Mm.
first episode of the brand new
Right.
series with me.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot, like you mentioned, I think quite rightfully, that society, this job, when you do it well,
Yeah.
deserves a lot more credit
Yes. It
and
definitely
respect
does. Yes.
from people in the society.
Yeah.
I think people understand when they have met the right advisor,
Right.
but for people who have unfortunately not met the right advisor yet,
Correct.
I think there's a lot of education that still can be done.
Yes. I mean, people respect lawyers, they respect doctors, they respect a lot of professions for what they do. But how many people say, I respect my agents? Yes, there are. There will be people who say that. But that's because they went through the whole episode of the advisors who help them and they see the light of what we do. Yes. The recent thing that happened to me was I met a young widow and she had no children. Her husband passed away recently and she wanted to see how I can help her. It was a blank sheet of paper. Like, I don't know what to expect. I know that she was grieving still, and I went to her place with some desserts and a card of consolation, and to hopefully encourage her on. I saw my mother struggle when my father left, and I knew that this lady would probably have gone through this thing, as worse off when she had no children. So we did all the claims for her, and then managed to get something out of it. But I think this is what we do. This is our job. And I'm not her advisor. All her advisors who sold the plans to her husband were not available. I came in, I called the insurers one by one, and we helped her to get some claims done based on the plans that the husband bought. But I think what's memorable and very sentimental about this was that she cried. And she held my hand, we both hugged, and we cried together. Yeah. I'm also a very emotional person, but I can feel her pain of the loss of her husband. And I was able to give her that kind of someone that she can talk to. And I was surprised that she sent me the voice recording of her husband to her. Yeah. I mean, I'm just a stranger that she met for the first time. But for you to believe and trust in me, to share such intimate details, right? It's also very personal to me. Yeah. I mean, that was also the first year that she celebrated her birthday and Christmas. So, I mean, we can just do the necessary, which is do the claims, do the paperwork. I think what my team did was my assistant and I, we sent stuff to her on Christmas, we sang to her on her birthday, and then we let her know that she is not alone, that she has us. She has friends, she has people like us who will be rooting for her. And that's why I think that it's just not just a job, but it's not like it's an admin job and all. We are more than that. And people need to see that we can be more than that if they feel for the people. Yeah.
Great. I wish you every success
Thank you so much.
in the years to come in your practice
Thank you
and
very
in
much.
continuing to make an impact to both your clients and society at large.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
and-
Thanks for having us.
and,
Thanks for having me here.
And Miss Seah, thank you so much. And I look forward to maybe down the road, let's have another conversation
Sure.
in this kind of setting again. And we will once again look at how much you have grown since then.
Thank you. And good luck, sir, for your new adventure.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Miss Seah, do you like it?
Okay, what do you think?
Very good. I didn't learn.
Really?